Everybody, welcome to Moment of Clarity. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here. Please take a second to share this, click subscribe and everything. As you saw from the title, the Young Turks have lost their shit. Now, here's the thing. I don't like to there's a lot of complaints about the Young Turks that I understand, and every once in a while I'll mention them. I don't like to do whole videos on this shit because my feeling is that if we're actually going to change this world, we actually need to kind of unite against the ruling elite rather than go after somebody who's not quite as left wing as you or something like that, or unite against the mainstream media. And I don't consider the Young Turks the mainstream media. But when it's this horrific and this fucking ridiculous and this pathetic and this McCarthyite and this like smear mongering, then in this case, I don't feel like I have a choice. This is it's so goddamn pathetic of them. So many of you know that the Young Turks, they've always been like fairly left wing. They were definitely for a while, I'm talking 5 years ago or more. They were definitely for a while left of MSNBC. And in fact, it's well known, and I think it's probably the most important thing Cenk Uygur ever did, although now he seems to be trying to erase any good he's done in the past. It's well known that he got an MSNBC show. He was there for like a month or 2 months. It was successful for those months. I think very successful, maybe top 2 or 3 shows. And then, according to him, and I happen to believe him on this, he was pulled into a room and they said, "Look, you're going after Obama too much. You're on the inside now. You're not one of the outsiders. You're one of the inside now, and you need to start being, nice to Obama." And so he left. And in my opinion, that's awesome. That's bold. You got a show on a mainstream network. You realized what the parameters were, what that Overton window, which I talk about a lot, what it was. Surprised he maybe didn't know that going in. And rather than continue to take the paycheck, which, he's making tons of dough from Young Turks, so you can't really talk much about the paycheck, but he left, which, nice move. However, since that time, Young Turks has gone more and more and more towards the center. And the big change, which Jimmy Dore's talked a lot about, because Jimmy Dore, was far more associated with Young Turks. He had multiple shows on there for a long time, and then obviously had the big blow up where he's now on his own. And I've known all these guys. I mean, I'm friends with Jimmy and many others, but I've known Cenk a little bit. I was on Young Turks probably 5 times, maybe. I didn't live in LA, so I wasn't out there very much. But last time I was on was over 4 years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago. And anyway, they went farther and farther to the center, or really maybe to the right. I don't know, at least the center. And the big shift came after they took $20 million, the Young Turks did, from a Hillary donor. Basically the Hillary machine. It wasn't directly from Hillary, but it was the Hillary machine. And almost immediately, things started to shift there. Jimmy was kind of pushed out. Or at least a little sidelined. And it went, it was slowly over a matter of months. It wasn't like a light switch, but now we see where they are. Now we see that, any clips I see, I don't watch them that often or see much that often, but any clips I see seem very similar to MSNBC. I don't see much difference between them and MSNBC. From what I've seen, mostly into, Russiagate, they believe the white helmet psyop garbage. The stuff I see is not anything impressive. And so, like I said, I don't spend much time on that. I don't spend much time on like, hey, let's, they're a side story. Why am I going to? I view tearing down the mainstream media as incredibly important. I view insulting the Young Turks as not very significant on the scope of things. But now they've kind of taken this new leap in this clip, which some of you have clearly seen. I see some comments. Some of you know what's going on. So Aaron Mate, I talk about Aaron a lot. Aaron's been on Redacted Tonight. He's been on Moment of Clarity. Does amazing work. He's been with The Real News. He's been with, he was a producer for Democracy Now! Before they had a shift, and now he's called out Democracy Now! As well. He's with The Gray Zone, and he has his podcast, The Pushback. And anyway, so much good work. And the two issues that Aaron Mate is kind of most important on and been most pivotal on and really kept hammering away at. And I covered one of his stories, what was it, 2 days ago or something? I covered one of his stories, has been Russiagate. He has been so invested in debunking all of the garbage with Russiagate, done an incredible job. Just like I said 2 episodes ago, I don't want to read all those papers, but Aaron Mate is willing to fucking read 500-page legal briefs on how and tear them apart and reveal how garbage Russiagate is. I mean, just it's as empty as WMD in Iraq, and he has shown that again and again and again and again. And the other thing he's been really pivotal on is calling out the lies of the so-called chemical attack in Syria. Now, many of you know this seemed ridiculous at the time, right? Because there was an announcement the U.S. was going to leave Syria and stop having troops on the ground, stop bombing, etc. Or no, we hadn't bombed yet. So, so basically leave the realm of Syria, even though we helped create the war there. We funded the rebels. We funded and armed. Many of them are al-Qaeda offshoots. And so we're funding these terrorists and arming them, sometimes training them, and then sending them into Syria and going, oh, there's a war there. We got to help. Who gave those guys guns? And so, and we were getting, there was talk of America pulling out of Syria, and within days, in the Trump administration, within days of Trump saying he was going to pull troops out of Syria, suddenly there's this chemical attack that Assad has decided to cross that red line, right? Obama put the red line there, chemical attack, that's it. And Assad is like, you know what? I want to do the one thing that will make sure America stays here. I want to do the one thing that will make just 100% sure that the American empire continues up my ass. Now, I am no defender of Assad. I don't claim to know everything about Syrian society either. I don't think Assad's a good guy. But do you really think he'd do one chemical attack just to fucking make sure the United States starts bombing him and sending in more troops? Fuck no. It's laughable. And so Aaron Mate, along with other great journalists, Robert Fisk, Pillager, even Seymour Hersh did an article a while back on this, revealed that there's really no evidence that there was a chemical attack. It seems almost 100% that there was a regular attack that may have killed people, and we're not sure who killed those people. It could have been these al-Qaeda offshoots that we were funding and arming. It could have been Assad. But if he did kill them, he killed them with traditional bombs, which was not our red line, right? And so Aaron Mate has done article after article revealing this. And actually, I can show you one of them. This is, I'll just show you one because I don't need to go through all these. But this is Aaron Mate he spoke to the UN via Zoom. And he was at the UN. He debunked the OPCWs. That's the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. They're kind of the best-known international organization on that front. And Aaron Mate debunked their lies about Syria and confronted the U.S. and U.K. on the cover-up. In remarks to the UN Security Council, Aaron Mate of the Gray Zone debunks the OPCW's lies about its Syria cover-up scandal and challenges the U.S. and U.K. on their role. And he was doing this. He wasn't doing this alone. He was doing this with people from the OPCW who had been whistleblowers. There's now been 4, I believe, whistleblowers from the OPCW that have come out and said that the report saying that there was a chemical attack was doctored and forged and fake and covered up their actual questions and findings in Duma. So anyway, the whole point I'm trying to make there is that Aaron Mate done incredible work on this front. And honestly, like, unless you're some fucking State Department goon or you're working for some giant corporate mainstream media company, people don't deny this. People who do any research on their own, they don't deny what a fucking brilliant job Aaron Mate's done on this, done on debunking Russiagate. This is how the Young Turks deal with it. And at the beginning of this clip, it's a short clip. At the beginning of this clip, you'll notice that Cenk and Anna, for those of you who've never seen Young Turks, Anna Kasparian is the co-host. You'll see they mention a tweet that Cenk put up. I'll get to that in a minute. It's really a side point, but he put up a really fucking stupid tweet, and so at the so they'll mention that at the beginning, but I'll get back to that. So this is their short clip that they did on their members only chat, which I think is part of the reason they were willing to speak like this, is because they figured, Aaron Mate and the world at large won't see that. Just our big members will see this.
They said Aaron Mate yelled at me. And so
Aaron Mate lied. Aaron Mate. Everyone cares what Aaron Mate has to say, right? Okay. The guy who denies that Syrian children were killed with chemical attacks. Yeah.
And fuck Aaron Mate.
Fuck you. Anyway, let's move on. Let's end the freaking pod. I can't.
Okay, see, that's what happened.
I can't stand that guy, and I can't stand the very intentional disinformation they put out there in regard to disgusting dictators around the world. The very people they seem to be working for, to be quite honest with you. Let's move on.
All right, we're done.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
What a great job, guys. Well done. True fucking outrage over, like, it's amazing on so many levels, but the fact that Anna Kasparian doesn't know the truth, that she's just kind of spitting out lies for our government agencies, U.S. government agencies, and mainstream media, is like so fucking pathetic. It's truly incredible. And she did her bold, like, fuck you. Oh yeah. So impressive. Really hit him with the facts there, Anna. But perhaps the key thing that is said in this fucking ridiculous tirade is, so Anna says, like, he's putting out disinformation. It makes me sick. Disinformation about horrible dictators. And it's like, dudes, guys, we're bombing innocent civilians on a daily basis. We have killed far more over the past 20 years than Assad could ever hope to. Far more innocent civilians. The fucking Al-Qaeda offshoots that we fund and train and arm in Syria have killed ridiculous numbers of people. And Anna and Cenk in this clip are doing basically propaganda for them. Like, they're spitting out garbage propaganda to delegitimize one of the best journalists on this topic. I mean, it's truly incredible. So, but one of the key things that's said, which tells you so much, let's see how easily I can find the exact point, but you can't hear it that well because Anna is yelling nonsense, but try to listen to just Cenk as he's speaking here.
Aaron Mate. Everyone cares what Aaron Mate has to say, right? The guy who denies that Syrian children were killed with chemical attacks. Yeah.
And
fuck
gets
Aaron
paid by
Mate.
the
fuck you. Anyway, let's move on. Let's end the.
Did you hear that? And gets paid by the Russians. So Cenk is throwing out this pathetic McCarthyite garbage. You know, I mean, this is straight McCarthyism, which ironically would be the thing that Cenk would claim to be against, right? McCarthyism, the idea of fucking bringing down leftist journalists, leftist speakers, independent news by just calling them Russia, 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 right? It's been done to me endlessly. And so he's accusing Aaron Mate of getting paid by the Russians when Aaron Mate has never been paid by Russians. He doesn't work at RT. He doesn't work at any other outlets. In his tweets, he said that the only government that he's ever been paid by was he did do some producing for Al Jazeera, which is Qatar, which is Al Jazeera is funded by Qatar. And so there was a time, not now, in the past, when Aaron was receiving a check or two from Qatar, But the vast majority of Aaron Mate's work has been for the Gray Zone, for the Real News, and for Democracy Now! And a few other outlets. He writes things for like Real Clear Investigations. But so he's been paid by these largely independent outlets and not at all paid by Russia. But Cenk he's going to the exact playbook that is your mainstream media, right? This is the same shit that's been done to me. It was done to me by the New York Times, by NPR, McCarthyite garbage. Oh, he's just spouting Russian talking points, even though I've fucking been saying the same shit for 20 years. They can't argue with the facts. And so they just go, oh, it's Russia. He's Russian. Not to mention, on top of all the other stuff, this feeds in to the garbage, toxic nationalism that has allowed us to be, that has pushed us to the brink of nuclear annihilation. The nuclear scientists have put the doomsday clock at 30 seconds to midnight. The closest we've been to nuclear annihilation since like World War II, since like the atomic bombs were created. No, probably since the Cuban Missile Crisis, actually. But, and it's been done with that kind of garbage nationalism, right? America is wonderful. What America does is the bestest. And what Syria does is awful. Every Syrian, doesn't matter if you're a baby, a child, a doctor, a nurse, every Syrian is awful. Every Iranian is terrible. And like Cenk would probably say that he doesn't agree with that. But then what is he doing right here? He's doing that exact thing. Oh, he's Russian. He's paid by Russia. He's Russian. They're evil. I mean, he is doing that garbage McCarthyism. It's fucking pathetic. And it goes to show like how far the Young Turks have fallen, what they have become. And I guess it's the 20 million that they got from the Hillary Clinton machine. I don't know if there's other reasons. I think there may be a little bit of desperation in that because they have now become essentially just MSNBC. Look, there are those people in our country that turn on MSNBC and believe it. It is, you can call it Democrat liberal TV, neoliberal TV. It promotes all of our endless wars largely. It promotes Wall Street largely. It promotes, the establishment political machine that owns our government, the oligarchs, unfettered capitalism, for the most part. It promotes all that stuff. Now, the idea of the Young Turks, which made them a hit online, was that we're not that, right? We're not MSNBC. We're not going to fawn over Obama. We're going to actually call them out for not being real left-wingers. Like, that is what made the Young Turks popular. And it's why I used to do interviews on there. It's why Jimmy Dore was there. It's why, so many people have done that I highly respect have been on the Young Turks in interviews at various times. And yet now, whenever someone does throw a clip up, like I said, I don't see tons of what Young Turks do, but whenever someone does throw the clip up, it's like, oh, you're MSNBC, basically. So if you're MSNBC, then why are people turning you on? Why aren't they just going to MSNBC? And so I assume that type of shit has probably hurt their numbers. That they, they're apparently into the white helmets like bullshit. That white helmets was created by the British version of CIA. The head guy was former British CIA, whatever they call it, MI6 or something. It's funded. It was funded by a lot of, like CIA cutout type organizations. And the White Helmets has just completely collapsed in terms of like integrity of not being just kind of a propaganda show. And I assume because if Anna's saying, oh, I hate Aaron Mate for doing this garbage reporting, then she must give in to the full like Syria charade. She must be in with all that, everything like Obama said, just bomb the shit out of Syria. That'll save them, that kind of shit. Jimmy Dore, I know, got in a bunch of arguments back when he was on there over Russiagate because they were basically going in on the Russiagate bullshit. I've seen clips of Cenk Uygur saying, oh, yeah, Trump is a Russian asset, and like basically just doing Russiagate. And so it's like, well, we could turn on CNN if we wanted that bullshit, right? If we wanted McCarthyite dumpster fires of just completely factless garbage, turn on MSNBC. So anyway, I wanted to show you some of what Aaron Mate's response to this was. So Aaron said, in this insane and libelous clip, Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian say that I am paid by Russians, seem to be working for dictators, and deny chemical attacks on Syrian children. I don't care about their disdain for me, but I do care about being smeared. He goes on, the only state I've worked for is Qatar as an Al Jazeera producer. I've never worked for or been paid by Russia or any other state. By the way, when it comes to paid shilling for disgusting people who kill children, Ana Kasparian doesn't need to look far. Well, let's see what I haven't played this clip.
We have heard that 500,000 children have died. I mean, that's more children than died in Hiroshima. And you know, is the price worth it?
I think this is a very hard choice, but we think the price is worth it.
So that was a former interview with Madeleine Albright, and you just saw her say that killing 500,000, 500,000 Iraqi children is worth it for our garbage empire hegemony wars. I mean, that is breathtaking. It's worth it. So here is Ana Kasparian with Madeleine Albright. Same woman.
And instead, it was just a softball interview for which
that's the voice of Max Blumenthal.
Kasparian, I mean, it appeared to have been a paid gig for a NATO conference.
Welcome to your MSC. I am delighted to be here and to have a conversation with the former U.S. Secretary of State under Bill Clinton, Madeleine Albright. And Madeleine Albright was actually the first female Secretary of State in the U.S. And it is a pleasure to have you here. It's an honor to have a conversation with you.
Well, I'm delighted to be interviewed by you. Thank you.
So they obviously don't show it all, but it was just a completely softball interview. It was like Anna fawning over this war criminal as to how amazing and wonderful she is. Aaron goes on, chemical attacks. I've covered one of the biggest pro-war deceptions since Iraq, the staged incident in Duma and the OPCW cover-up scandal that exposed it. Doing Trump's bidding, journalists like Cenk and Ana have completely ignored, he means ignored his debunking of that story. When Cenk opens by saying Aaron Mate yelled at me. Oh, okay. So now let's get into the tweet that Cenk was responding to, which is fucking incredible as well. When Cenk Uygur opens by saying Aaron Mate yelled at me, I think he was referring to this tweet from me below. So here's the horrifying tweet that just made Cenk and Ana unhinged. Cenk said, Israelis and Palestinians kill each other over which sky god they pretend to speak to, and it's politically incorrect to point out there is no human god, let alone one that favors Jews or Muslims. All this violence over the equivalent of which character they like better in the Marvel Comics universe. Aaron responded, my God tells me that this is the worst tweet of all time. Now, here's the thing. Even as a atheist like myself, that tweet is fucking pathetic. Because that is Cenk trying to say that it's, first of all, it's playing the both sides bullshit, right? Oh, Palestinians, Israel, they need to chill the fuck out, right? All of them. That kid, look, the sniper who's picking people off in the IDF, he needs to chill out. And that 6-year-old with holding the rock needs to chill out too. Both sides should chill out. Just fucking relax, okay? As I say on the Redacted Tonight that will air tonight, that's like seeing a mouse getting eaten by a snake and just the like legs and the tail are still sticking out of the mouth. And you go, I think both sides need to relax, okay? Both sides, look, the mouse and the snake should just fucking chill out, guys. Just chill the fuck out, okay? The snake should back off a little, and the mouse should stop looking so delicious. Why is he doing that? Everybody just needs to relax a little. It's bullshit. So he's playing the both sides of bullshit. But also the other thing is, like I was saying, even if you're an atheist like me, so even if you don't have a dog in the race, this is more kind of this bullshit argument that, well, it's very complicated because it's religious disagreements. It's two religions that just butt heads and they just have religious disagreements. It's like, no, one of them is a fucking massive military state that is literally has and continues to kick people off their land that they've been on for generations. And they're bombing, like they killed 200 people in a few days of bombing. And that's less than the last time they did this. They killed 60-some children in a few days of bombing. They don't let that area have clean water. They barely have electricity. This is not a religious debate. Yes, there are religious aspects, but to say it's just a religious-based debate, everybody needs to just realize that religion is weird like that. So Cenk is not just being dumb. Like he's not just playing the both sides thing. He's being fucking dumb. He's being fucking ignorant. And one would argue probably intentionally. I don't know, I don't want to say everything he said about Israel. I don't know where he stands on it in general, but that tweet is like a sewage drain pipe. That's what that tweet is. So anyway, all Aaron said was, my God tells me this is the worst tweet of all time. And Cenk and Anna lost their shit and accused him of being working for dictators or something. Truly incredible. So here is also Glenn Greenwald's response. Glenn Greenwald, it became completely normalized in liberal culture to just run around accusing journalists or anyone else disliked of being paid agents of the Kremlin. And now they just invoke this McCarthyite script on a whim. Remember when Hillary did it to Tulsi Gabbard? It's a reflex now. Yeah. I mean, it's pathetic on so many levels. And I hope I've made that clear. I know that, a lot of the other independent journalists that I respect have been defending Aaron and coming out and going after this fucking shit show of the Young Turks. Like I said, years ago, whatever, last time was probably 5 years ago that I was on Young Turks. It seemed like we were not in two completely different realms, but now it seems like they are doing some sort of Clinton machine tap dance, Here is Madeleine Albright, the war criminal who worked under Bill Clinton. And what an amazing and strong woman she is. I mean, the fact that a woman could commit these kinds of war crimes really, it says a lot, okay? It says a lot. It says a lot about how great women have become. It used to be only men could kill 500,000 children in, a matter of months. But now you have great ladies like Madeleine Albright who have shown, hey, women are up to the job, folks. Women can obliterate children for no reason other than American hegemony. They can. And they're given that opportunity because our society is improving and because women are strong and they're fighting back and they're saying, watch us blow up these children. Watch us do it. Because we are women, hear me roar or something. That was the interview. That was actually word for word the entire interview that Anna Kasparian did with Madeleine Albright. Oh, man. So fucking incredible. So fucking amazing. But as Anna Kasparian says, fuck you. Well done. Well done. Totally incredible. Okay, guys, that is it. Thank you so much and keep fighting.